In this demonstration, we're going to talk about configuring Internet Explorer Enhanced Security. Now, Internet Explorer Enhanced Security is used on server versions of Windows ever since Windows Server 2003. Essentially, Internet Explorer Enhanced Security functions in much the same way as user account control works for the Windows desktop. The idea is that even if you're logged into the server desktop as an administrator, which I am in this instance, I'm still not allowed to browse the internet as an administrator. The basic idea is that if you're working from the server desktop, you're probably not going to be browsing the internet because the server has a certain function on the network. It provides network services. It's not typically used as a desktop operating system. And therefore, to protect the server, we really try to shrink that security hole that is created by the web browser as much as possible. You'll see that with Enhanced Security turned on, that most of the browser functionality that we commonly associate with Internet Explorer is actually locked down. And it's important to note that Enhanced Security is turned on for Internet Explorer by default whenever you install a server version of Windows. Let's go ahead and take a look. If I come down here and click on the Start button, and notice I am logged in as administrator, and I click on Internet Explorer, I'm taken to this page, which tells me that Enhanced Security is enabled on this system. As noted here in this first paragraph, a number of security settings are defined for our internet and intranet websites that reduce the exposure of the server to websites that could potentially pose a security risk. If we click on this link right here, we can see what the effects of Enhanced Security are on the browser configuration. Here's the key thing you need to note. For the internet zone, the security level is set to high. You'll notice that this is the exact same security level that is applied to restricted sites. Essentially, what Internet Explorer Enhanced Security does is treat sites on the public network, the internet, as if they are restricted sites. Let's take a look at what those security restrictions are. Let's go over here to Tools, go to Internet Options, and go to Security. Once again, we can see that Internet is set to high, just like restricted sites are set to high. We go to Custom Level. We can see that with the security settings set to high, just about everything is disabled. Let's see what the effect is. I'm going to click Cancel here, Cancel here. Let's open up a new tab in our browser window, and let's try to access a website on the internet. In this example, I'm trying to access Google.com, a very commonly used search engine. Well, when I do, because Enhanced Security is turned on for the web browser, it tells me that content from this website is being blocked by Internet Explorer Enhanced Security configuration. And if I hit close, I'm allowed to the site. Now, remember that the security zones that we talked about over here under Internet Options apply the security rules that are defined for the particular profile, in this case, high. It's not a web filter. It's not blocking my access to the site. You can see that after going through the various prompts warning me about Enhanced Security being on, I was able to get to Google, but because the security level is set to high, all of these features that might be implemented on Google's website are turned off, and I won't be able to use them. A lot of people have misconceptions about what happens when we set the security level to high, or if we put a site into our list of restricted sites. It doesn't block us from going to that site. It simply turns off almost all the features of that site. We're still allowed to see the static HTML, as you can see here. Now, the Google website I went to is a fairly simple site. There's not a lot of features that are needed to access the site. Now, if you have Internet Explorer Enhanced Security turned on, and you're having problems accessing a particular website, and you'll probably have problems accessing just about all websites on the internet, and you do legitimately need to access that website from the server desktop, you can get around Internet Explorer Enhanced Security by simply adding the site that you need to access to your list of trusted sites. If we come back over here, go to Internet Options, you'll see that with Enhanced Security turned on, the security level used for trusted sites is set to medium, which means you can access these sites relatively easily. To do this, all you have to do is go over here to Sites, and then add this site to the list of trusted sites. You'll notice that by default, all of Microsoft's sites are added automatically to your list of trusted sites. Let's go ahead and add Google as well. You do have the option down here, note, to require HTTPS for all sites in this zone. Now, this does not apply to Google. Their website uses HTTP without security, so I'm not going to turn that option on. If I did turn it on, I would be blocked from accessing the site because it's not using HTTPS. So, I've added Google to the list. So, let's go ahead and click Close. Hit OK. I'm going to close this tab, open up a new tab, and access Google a second time. Now notice this time that I'm being prompted once again that parts of this website are being blocked by Internet Explorer Enhanced Security Configuration. And your first thought might be, well, wait a minute, we added Google.com to the list, right? We did. But notice that the problem here is that we have a third-party site that this particular page is pulling information from, ssl.gstatic.com. Now this URL is not in our list of approved sites. So if we need to be able to access google.com from the desktop and we trust this particular site here, we can also add it as well. Go ahead and add, close, and we're able to access Google. Now you'll find that this can be kind of a pain for most websites. Google is actually a pretty easy example. There'll be many websites where you will have to add 8, 9, maybe even 10 different URLs to your trusted sites list just to display one particular page. And then if you click on a particular link in that page, you have to add several more sites. And it gets to be kind of a pain. Again, the idea is that if we're using a browser on the desktop, we'll only be using it for a very limited number of things. And we want to make the browser as secure as possible. However, there may be situations when you do need to use the browser on the desktop in the same way that you would from a workstation system. In this situation, you're probably going to want to turn enhanced security off. Now, this is not a recommended practice for most server systems. You're going to want to leave enhanced security on. But if for some reason you do need to turn it off, it can be done. And if you've ever had to use the browser from a server desktop to complete certain tasks on the internet, you know what I'm talking about. You'll want to turn enhanced security off, even if it's just temporarily till you get your task done. Then you can turn it back on if necessary. To do this, we need to access Server Manager. Now in Server Manager, I need to make sure that the root is selected, Server Manager DI1, and then I need to come over here and scroll down a little bit. And under Security Information, we need to select Configure IE ESC, Enhanced Security Configuration. When you do, the screen shown here is displayed, and in the screen you can configure to whom the IE Enhanced Security Configuration will be applied. Notice that by default it is applied to everybody, both administrative users as well as standard user accounts. And you can decide at this point who will be allowed to use IE in a typical workstation fashion and who will not, who will have enhanced security enabled. A common configuration that I have seen is to allow administrators to use Internet Explorer on the desktop of the server as if it were a workstation, because the administrator is likely the one who's going to have to go out and download updates for software and other things, whereas your everyday users probably want to leave it on because, frankly, there's really no reason they should be using that server as a workstation to browse the web. There will be exceptions, I know, but for the most part, that's just not what you do. So in this situation, let's turn it off for administrators and leave it on for standard users. Click OK. And here you can see the change. IE Enhanced Security Configuration is off for admins, on for users. Let's close the window. Now if I open up a web browser, notice that it warns me that Internet Explorer Enhanced Security Configuration is not enabled, and I can use the browser on the desktop of the server as if I were using a browser on a standard workstation. For example, I could go to testout.com, and you can see that I'm able to access the Testout website without having to add it to my list of trusted sites, as I would have had to do if enhanced security configuration were turned on. That's it for this demonstration. In this demo, we talked about configuring Internet Explorer Enhanced Security. We first talked about what IE Enhanced Security is. We showed how it works, and then we ended this demonstration by showing you how to turn it off for certain user accounts if necessary.